You know, it's one of the most famous objects in any museum on Earth, just a broken piece of dark stone. But the real story isn't just about what it is, it's about what it unlocked for all of us. So let's get into the incredible story of the Rosetta Stone. For well over 1,000 years, the temples and tombs of ancient Egypt were just covered in these incredible, beautiful symbols, hieroglyphs. But here's the thing, they were silent. The knowledge of how to actually read them had completely vanished. An entire civilization's history, their beliefs, their day-to-day lives, all of it was a total mystery. So that really is the big question, isn't it? How on earth did this one single broken fragment become the key that let a world that had been lost for centuries finally speak to us again? To really get a sense of just how big this problem was, we first have to understand just how long this silence actually lasted. It's kind of mind-boggling. Just look at this gap. Hieroglyphs were used for over 3,000 years, but the last known inscription was carved way back in 394 CE. And for the next 1,400 years, a millennium and a half, nobody on the planet could read them. Think about it. It's like if the Roman Empire fell and we just forgot how to read Latin. And, this was a huge roadblock for anyone trying to figure them out. Early scholars looked at them and thought they couldn't possibly be a practical alphabet for writing everyday words like bread or taxes. They just had to be something more. It was widely believed that every single symbol represented some complex, mystical idea. And that one assumption sent scholars down the completely wrong path for centuries. So the breakthrough didn't come from some quiet study in a library. Nope, it came from the total chaos of war. Right, so when Napoleon invaded Egypt, his goal wasn't just military conquest. He brought with him this whole commission of sciences and arts. We're talking engineers, artists, linguists, the whole shebang. Their job was to document absolutely everything they could find in this ancient land. It was basically a mission of conquest, both with swords and with knowledge. And in the middle of all this, a unit of French soldiers is busy tearing down an old wall to rebuild a fort. An officer, a guy named Pierre-François Bouchard, spots this slab of dark stone that was just being used as building material. But this one, it was covered in writing. He knew right away that this could be something really important. Okay, so what made this stone a potential game changer? It wasn't its size or what it was made of. It was the fact that it had not one, but 3 different scripts carved into it. At the top, heavily damaged, were those mysterious hieroglyphs. In the middle was a script called Demotic, which was kind of like a cursive, everyday version of Egyptian writing. And at the bottom, and this is the crucial part, was ancient Greek, a language that scholars absolutely could read. But the French didn't actually get to keep their incredible discovery. After Napoleon's forces were defeated in Egypt, the treaty they signed in 1801 made them hand over all the antiquities they'd collected. And that included the stone. So it was shipped off to London and put in the British Museum, and that's where it's been ever since. So the stone's physical journey was over, but its intellectual journey, the real adventure, was just getting started. This kicked off a 2-decade-long race across Europe to see who could be the first to finally crack the code. And this race really came down to 2 brilliant rivals. Over in England, you had Thomas Young. He was a polymath, a genius who worked on everything from physics to medicine. For him, the stone was this fascinating side project, a puzzle to solve. But in France, you had Jean-François Champollion, a linguistic prodigy who was completely, utterly obsessed with ancient Egypt. For him, this wasn't a hobby, it was his life's work. Now, Young made the first critical leap. He focused on these oval shapes you see in the hieroglyphs. They're called cartouches. His big idea was that a non-Egyptian name, like the Greek king Ptolemy, couldn't be written with a single picture symbol. It had to be spelled out phonetically, sound by sound. And he was right. He proved that at least some hieroglyphs represented sounds. But Champollion, he had an ace of his sleeve. He was a master of Coptic. Now, Coptic was the language used by Egyptian Christians, and it was a direct descendant of the language the ancient pharaohs spoke. This was his secret weapon. It meant that when he figured out what sounds the symbols made, his knowledge of Coptic gave him a pretty good idea of what the words might actually mean. See, here's the crucial difference. Young thought the phonetic spelling was just a special exception, used only for foreign names. But Champollion took a massive gamble. He thought, what if the phonetic system applies to native Egyptian names too? He found a cartouche with the symbols for Ra, Mes, and Ses. Ra, Mes, Ses. Ramesses! It worked! The whole system just cracked wide open. And the story goes that the moment he made this discovery, Champollion sprinted to his brother's office, burst in, shouted, "I've got it," and then promptly fainted. He was apparently so overwhelmed that he was bedridden for the next 5 days. It just shows you the incredible passion and pressure that was behind this race. And with that one breakthrough, well, everything changed. The silence was finally over. The key had turned in the lock. It was like someone flipped a light switch in a massive, dark room. All at once, the inscriptions on temples, on papyrus scrolls, on monuments, they weren't just decorations anymore. They were voices, real voices from the past, ready to finally tell us their stories. And here's the great irony in all this. The actual message on the Rosetta Stone, it wasn't some deep philosophical secret. It was a pretty boring decree from a council of priests listing all the tax breaks and honors for the teenage king, Ptolemy V. I mean, it was basically political propaganda. The treasure wasn't the message itself, but the fact that the message was there 3 times. But the stone's impact went so much further than just this one translation. I mean, first, the decipherment basically gave birth to the entire field of Egyptology. The stone itself became a global cultural icon, one of the most famous museum pieces in the world. Its very name became a symbol for cracking any difficult code or problem. And of course, it's a powerful symbol of cultural heritage, which is why there are ongoing calls for it to be returned to Egypt. And that's exactly how it entered our language. You hear people talk about the Rosetta Stone of the human genome or of artificial intelligence. It's become the universal shorthand for that one crucial clue that unlocks a much, much bigger mystery. So when you look at the Rosetta Stone today, you're not just looking at a really old rock. You're looking at a symbol of discovery itself, the story of a lost language that was found again, and really a testament to human curiosity and, let's be honest, obsession. And that just leaves you with one final thought. The Rosetta Stone was found by soldiers tearing down a wall. It was a complete accident. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other keys to lost worlds are still out there, maybe hidden in plain sight, just waiting for their moment to be found?